Welcome everyone to today's Edmonton Oilers video conference call. Very pleased today to be joined by three members of the 2006 Oilers, Dwayne Roloson, Jarret Stoll, and Ethan Moreau. Thanks to the three of you for joining us today. We have media on the call and that are watching in. For those who have submitted questions, I have them in front of you. If you have other questions, I would ask that you put them in the Zoom group chat, my attention, and if we have time, we'll get to those as well. So just to start off, maybe for each of you, just give us an update where you're at right now. What are you doing these days as far as maybe a job or what's keeping you busy? I'll start with you, Jarret.
Well, right now I'm in Los Angeles. I live here full time. I'm working for the LA Kings currently, still here with the organization. I'm in player development, so take care of our prospects, check in with them, go watch them play, and try to help them make the jump, basically. But not doing much, just have a dog, so a lot of walks with him and watching a bunch of new TV shows and just trying to kill time. The golf courses are slowly opening up here in Los Angeles, so actually playing later on today, which will be nice to get out of the house and get some sunshine and see some green grass.
How about you, Dwayne?
Yeah, we just, I live in Victoria in the wintertime. I work with the Western League team there. The Victoria Royals pretty much do everything from coaching to scouting to helping with management decisions and things like that. And this year did a little bird dogging for the Kings, just did some goalie evaluations for them. And we just got back to Ontario now just for the boys to be able to work out, get a nice setup here for them to be able to work out and shoot and all that. And they get the lucky jobs. They get to go out and work with some farmers right now, so they can get some man strength in them. So it's been a nice change, but also it's pretty locked down in Ontario right now, so not much going on.
How about you, Ethan?
Yeah, same. Just like many people in Ontario, just trying to stay low, trying to stay at home. We have a full house, so it's been fun. We had Cinco de Mayo yesterday. I think I'm trying to find the ends of the internet. So my son and I, Trey, we're deep into the Podesta files today. So that's our project for today. But yeah, just trying to stay positive. Try not to eat everything in the fridge. But that's about it.
Recently, Chris Pronger, I guess, was on a podcast, and he felt that if Dwayne hadn't been injured in those finals, that the Oilers would have won the cup. Maybe a thought on that. I'll start with you, Ethan. What do you think on that? Do you agree?
Well, it's pretty obvious. I mean, we went from having the best goalie in the world at that time to and everybody loves Juicy and Mark and Ty. I think they were just ideal second goalies in the NHL, not just that year, but in previous years and in the following decade. They're just great teammates and great people. So any of these comments has nothing to do with their ability or their quality of teammate. But Rolly was at a different level. It took him some time when he got onto our team, but I really truly believe that when we entered the playoffs, we had the best goalie in the world and the best defenseman in the world. And you don't have to have the best goalie in the world, but at that time he was. So I mean, it goes without saying. I mean, we've all been saying that for a decade and a half. I remember sitting on the bench and we scored the first 2 goals, I believe, and first 3 goals, and I said, this is in my head. Obviously, this is a joke. Like we're gonna win. But Rolly was such a huge part of our success that losing him was insurmountable, and we almost did it just through what we did all year, through sheer will and scoring more than the other team. But that's a very obvious point that losing Rolly was the turning point.
Jarret, anything you want to add to that?
Well, yeah, Ethan, you're exactly right. Just the confidence that Rolly showed right from when we got him. It was just it came throughout our team. It instilled that in our team, and we all know sports, and especially hockey, that confidence can do wonders and you can do absolutely anything when you have it and you have it consistently. So yeah, we were rolling going into those playoffs, and it took us, I think, to the 80th or maybe even the 81st game to clinch. But when you have guys at the top of their game at that time, that's all you need. You need 3 or 4 good things ago in the playoffs. We were healthy. We got some bounces. We got some breaks. Unbelievable goaltending and timely goals, and that's kind of what it was.
Another question, and this is also from that was from Adam Cook at CTV. Another question, and I'll start with you, Dwayne. Right now, obviously, Edmonton streets are pretty quiet and pretty empty. Just wondering what it was like in 2006 with the playoffs going on in Edmonton. What was it like in the city of Edmonton?
Simple word, crazy. It was, I think the city ran out of beer 2 or 3 times, and everything was getting trucked in from Calgary. Then for us, when we were trying to get to the airport, usually just went down the Trans-Canada and right out of the airport. We had to go all the way around, and it probably took another 20 minutes off on White Ave area. So we had to go around it, and it was crazy. I don't think I've been in a city that's been that excited about anything. It was a lot of fun to be a part of.
Jarret, what do you remember of that time and the run and what it was like in the city of Edmonton while that was going on?
I just we could be here all day, I think. But White Ave was bouncing. It was a lot of fun. It's I think that one main word we used the whole playoffs was electric, and that was kind of our thing in the city and in the arena. And it was so much fun for me. Being from Saskatchewan, I had so many family and friends in, so got to also experience that with them, and they got to experience that. One of my buddies actually got his phone stolen on White Ave after one of the games, and the guy started running down the street. My buddy tracked him down, and it ended up on CTV News. Nobody believed him, but on the news, 6 o'clock news the next day, there he was on the news, just curb stomping the guy, getting his phone back. But it was just so much fun. It was like Rolly said, on the way to the couple of those games after the games, we had to go right to the airport. So going down, I forget which one, maybe 75th or whatever it was to get to the airport, and we're stuck in traffic too, but everybody leaving the game. So people started recognizing us and realizing what we were doing, where we're going, and they would get out of their cars and we'd have conversations with them and high-fiving them. And, they were just so happy.
Hey, Ethan, anything else stand out for you about that time, about sort of what was going on in the city of Edmonton during that run?
I think that the different part of it, especially now, is that we were a part of it. I mean, we were on those streets and we were in those bars, but probably too much. But we enjoyed it. We were part of it. We were like, after we would win a series, we'd go out and we'd celebrate with the fans. And it was a little bit before social media. Probably couldn't do that now, but we enjoyed it because we were actually a part of it, and we got to witness it firsthand.
Question from Tony Barr, Oilers TV. And this for Ethan and Jarret. What do you guys remember of, and what did you think of Dwayne's breakaway pass to Mike Pekka during the Anaheim series? Jarret, you remember that pass?
I do, yeah. I've actually been watching, just fooling around on the computer and going on YouTube, and you click on something with, our playoff run, and then it just, things keep rolling after that. And so I've been watching some of those clips and Rolly. As soon as Peck scored, he points right at Rolly, and that was Rolly's move to get us out of trouble. And he knew when we were reeling, he needed to do something to get it out of the zone, and he definitely did that on that play. But those are just the types of things that Rolly did. The whole playoff season, just from making big saves to making a big play and a big assist like that. Like it's crazy what he did for our team, and he's a big part of where we went. We all know that. That was just another example of it.
Ethan, before I ask you the question, you'll have to introduce us to your teammate that's joined us for the call here.
This little guy? This is Sadie. So she's apparently the other 10 people in the house don't know I'm on this call. So, but she can hang out as long as she wants.
So Ethan, what do you remember on that pass? And as a skater, seeing a goaltender do something like that, I'm sure it's special. Well,
it shows you the confidence level of Rolly, like where he was at in his game. I mean, Rolly was feeling it, and that pass worked. I think, I don't know, 20% or 40% of the time he did it that year. But and Pex was playing with me, so that was the best pass he had all series. So It was just one of those things that sticks out. Like if you're going to make a montage or a highlight reel, that's definitely going to be on it.
Question for Jarret from Jim Matheson. You obviously went on to win a Stanley Cup in 2 Stanley Cups in LA. Just wondering if that eased some of the pain from losing in 2006, and also maybe what you learned from 2006 that maybe you were able to apply in Los Angeles.
No, it didn't erase it, to be honest with you. I'm still upset that we lost Game 7 in Carolina. We had the team, we had all the right ingredients, and then things were going well. The momentum switched, the momentum changes from when Fernando scored the overtime in Game 5, shorthanded to bring it back for Game 6. We played our most dominant game in Game 6 probably. So going to Game 7, you feel it. We had it, and we let it slip away. But no, it's definitely hurt. It still hurts for sure. To win in Edmonton could have, we heard about it. We hear about it when we played there and lived there. To win in that city, it would just be unbelievable. And can only imagine what those guys in the 80s, winning all those Stanley Cups, how they were experiencing it. And that hurts to not have a chance to do that. But winning, you just, like I said about the momentum, you learn to, when you have it, you got to take it and you got to keep it. It's tough with injuries as well. You got to stay healthy, like I said. And we had the timely saves here in LA with Jonathan Quick, as we did with Roley back in 06. We stayed healthy. We had some bounces and we had timely goals, and we had some big plays by big players on our team. And back in 2006, we had Ryan Smith, Sean Horkoff had a huge year, a huge playoffs. Ales Hemsky, who had a great playoffs, and Chris Pronger, who, he probably should have won the Conn Smythe. He could have been one of those guys that not many guys on a losing team win it, but Prongs was right there. So yeah, a lot of things go into it, but definitely still hurts.
Another one, and we'll start with Dwayne on this one. This is from Tony Brar, also with Oilers TV. Lots of make or break moments in games during those 06 playoffs. Game 3 again in the second round against the Sharks, all those elimination games in the Stanley Cup Finals. What was the atmosphere like in the dressing room? What was it like to calm your nerves down for those type of games going through that 06 run, Dwayne?
For me, I just think it was just another game, because the way our locker room was, and the way, when I first got traded there, it was just like a big family. It was like you come in the locker room, you got Joey running around, you got guys wrestling, you got with Joey, and he's keeping everybody relaxed. And I think that translated to how we played on the ice. We pick us up from that, and overall, I think we're all pretty relaxed bunch of guys, and it was a lot of fun being in the locker room. And if you saw somebody down, or if I was putting pressure on myself, Chopper or Stoley or Joey, somebody come in and give you a little smack and say, "Hey, wake up, let's go play." And that's pretty much how we were, and we just believed in what we were doing day in and day out, and had a lot of fun doing it.
Ethan, for you, remembering that run and those special moments and dressing room and all that, what was it like being in that dressing room, whether it's between periods or before overtimes or before big games? What was it like?
We had a really good group of leaders, and it didn't really change much. Gator was our guy. Jason Smith was our guy. He was our captain, and we had guys like myself that would help him. And then we had this great second, I call it your second division of leadership, where Stoley and Greeny and Raffi, even though they were young players, they were kind of in that group. And then when we brought in Prongs and Pax and Samsonov, they weren't necessarily guys that wanted to be vocal, and they didn't really want that responsibility, to be honest. So our team kind of just kept flowing the way it had for the previous 2 or 3 years, where the voices were Gator and myself and Stevie, and then obviously gradually with Hork and Stoley and Raffi and Greeny and Rolly is a little bit different being a goalie, but our leadership group didn't really change. So a lot of the messaging and a lot of the things that we were saying and a lot of the things that we were preaching and trying to get across to each other and holding each other accountable for were the same things that were consistent for about 3 or 4 years. And I'm sure Stoley can attest to that those things kind of led us to that point where we were pretty strict on certain things that we would do as a team, and that didn't change. So this thing started, 3 years before, and it accumulated once we got the necessary players into a championship team, or in my opinion, the best team in the league at that point.
Dwayne, in that final, in that first game when Adam Ladd collided with you, question from Jim Masson. Did you know right away? What was your sense? What was going through your mind as that was happening? Did you have a feeling that that might be it for you?
I actually thought it broke my arm, to be honest with you, because the way it came into me and the way I was positioned, my arm was on the outside of the post, and he came straight into it. And then, Kenny, I just remember Kenny ran out. And he's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I said, "I think I broke my arm." He goes, "How's your knee?" I said, "My knee's fine." He goes, "Seriously?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Feel a pop or anything?" I said, "Yeah, a little pop, but nothing major." He goes, "Stand up." So I stood up. He goes, "Go down." He goes, "We're out of here." And that was it. Like, as soon as I went down, I was like a knife going through my knees. So he goes, "We're out of here." Like, he knew right away that I was pretty much done. And obviously I didn't break my arm, and unfortunately it is what it is. And I was the biggest cheerleader from that point on, just trying to make sure the guys were ready to go day in and day out. And I remember having Uli by my side day in, trying to keep these guys pretty relaxed, and trying to get them to win Game 7. It was an emotional roller coaster for me personally, and the guys did a great job of keeping me a part of it, and not saying, "Hey, oh, too bad, too bad." It's, we're here, we're going to win it, and let's go. And so I give the guys a lot of credit for keeping me involved and keeping my spirits up through it all, because it was pretty disappointing at the time.
Ethan, question for you from Tony Brar, Oilers TV. Hockey players are known to be superstitious. Was there a decision collectively that Jason Smith, it was okay to touch the Clarence Campbell bowl when the time came after winning the Western Conference? Do you remember, is there a story behind that, of him touching the bowl, when sometimes superstitions dictate that people stay away from that?
Yeah, that was probably very down on our list. We had a very short conversation. I think Jason just said, "Hey, should I touch it?" I'm like, "I couldn't care less. You touch it. I don't care." So that was a very small side note.
A question, and maybe I'll ask Jarret this one. Jim Matheson, Post Media, wondering, just from a Chris Pronger standpoint, he obviously left right after the season. Was there any inkling that was going to happen? And also, did that take away a little bit from the joy of that playoff ride for somebody who's been such a big part of that to leave over the off season?
Well, myself personally, it was a surprise and a shock to me. I had no idea what was going on, or if things were going on. So no, I didn't know anything, and definitely a shock. And yeah, he's one of your best players, and a guy that is in every situation, dominates every situation. And we were a tough team to play against. I think we were a really hard team to play against, especially coming into our building. And Prongs was a huge part of that. So to lose him, yeah, it hurt. It definitely hurt. It's I think it's common sense. You lose your best player, and it's going to take a hit throughout your locker room, throughout your team. And unfortunately, it did that for us.
One question here from Adam Cook, CTV, relating to everything that's going on and the rumors out there of potentially resuming the season, and the idea of a controlled hub, I guess. Just maybe your thoughts on that as former players, as you think back to 06, but looking forward, what do you think of that? What are your opinions on that? Maybe Ethan, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I don't really have opinion, because I don't know the facts. I don't know what talks have taken place. I don't know the status of COVID right now down to the exact numbers. It wouldn't be responsible for me to even comment whether there should be games or whether it should be contained in a 4-city or 1-city venue. I mean, none of us know at this point. We don't know that it's over. We don't know that things might not be on a perfect curve or a perfect wave. We don't know anything. So this is all just speculation, and I don't really have an opinion on the NHL.
Okay, let's finish with 2 questions each, more general. But if you look back at that 2006 playoff run, I'll start with you, Dwayne. Is there one special moment memory that stands out more than any other that you think about and you take with you forever from that run?
There's not one. There's like 400 million of them. Like every game, there was something different. So there's a lot of great memories and a lot of great friendships that evolved from that playoff time. And for me, just one thing was just us as a group, how we were as a group. Like we could go to, I remember first getting traded there. It was like Jason Smith had me over, Ethan had me over, Stoll had me over. It's like, my family wasn't there. So, everyone was getting me out of the hotel, get me over to the houses and, having dinner. So at least getting away from restaurant and sitting in a hotel by myself. And I just think us as a group, as a team, how we were. And that's, for me, that's something that I'll always remember and cherish.
Jarret, how about you? Anything stand out for you, a memory or something special about that time that stands out?
Well, the first round was pretty cool. It was, you're playing Detroit, and to look at that lineup, and they finished, I think, with 124 points. And, we had no business being in that series or winning that series. But the type of team we had, and we outworked them and we outplayed them, and we had Dwayne Roloson. So that was cool. And what Ethan said earlier about just enjoying it with the fans. And, after that Game 6 win, we all went to Hudson's on White Ave, and the fans were there. And
where'd we go before that?
What?
Where'd we go after
that? That's where I couldn't get Dwayne out of my condo for 2 days. That was pretty funny though too. Just being at Hudson's with the fans, with our whole team, and enjoying just beating the President's Trophy winners, and going back to my place and just looking over and seeing some of the Red Wing players, having a good time with us was special. But just the whole run too. It's just the dressing room talk we had earlier. The one thing also I remember just sitting in the dressing room before the game, in between periods, just the "Let's Go Oilers" chants that were happening. Like you could hear those so loud in our dressing room, and we were calm. We were a collected group. We knew what was at stake, but we also knew that it was, our building was a tough place to come in and play, and teams that were coming in, they knew they had their work cut out for them. And but for us to hear the fans like that, like it just gave us so much juice, and it obviously helped us go till the end. But there's so many, like Dwayne said, there's so many stories and things you can remember and cherish forever.
Ethan, how about you? Any special memories that stand out from that run?
Well, I'll just pick one. We went down 2-0 to San Jose. Probably shouldn't have went out for dinner in San Francisco, but we did. But so who was the coach of their team? He was a USA coach. Who was the coach for San Jose? Wilson, right? Yeah. So Wilson was making some comments like, I think basically that I forget exactly what it was. It was basically we weren't in the same league, and San Jose was going to be fine. They were a very good team. They were right behind Detroit. And then I remember on the plane going back to Edmonton, and we were down 2-0, and there was absolutely zero amount of anxiety. And maybe it was just me, I don't know, but we weren't worried about a thing. We were like, there was no chance that team is going to beat us at home, and we were playing cards, doing our usual thing. We, to a man, and it just shows you about belief and how your brain can get you very far in life. We knew that at least it was going to be 2-2. Like, we just knew that. And we go back to Edmonton. Mind you, I think it was triple overtime where Rafi scores. But then after that, we just blow them out. Not even close. And their coach at the time just, we're fine, we're going to be okay. And then we just destroyed them. I think the last 3 games was 20-5 or 20-6. So we had this unbelievable confidence that I think was just kind of brewing during the Detroit series, and then into San Jose. There's not too many teams that go down 2 games to guys like Joe Thornton and the type of team that they had. And there was no doubt that we were going to win that series. So for me, that really sticks out, and how strong we were and how confident we were. And we had that kind of that swagger, a little bit of cockiness that we were the best team. And I think that carried through. And the unfortunate thing is that cockiness and that swagger was kind of taken away a little bit when Rolly got hurt. But hey, that's hockey.
And one final question, which ties into our current times. If you look back to that 2006 team and your teammates, if you were to be quarantined and could only be quarantined with one of your teammates, who would that teammate be? Trying to think where to start. Maybe Jarret, we'll get you to get us started.
I'll say Rafi. We were pretty tight back then, and it'd be good to reminisce about our old times and old memories, talk about things, and go play some golf.
Dwayne?
Probably be Fernando. He's a big guy in the city, and you're always going to get fed. So probably for any girl.
And Ethan?
I was at Gator's house every day anyway, and it wouldn't have been much of a different lifestyle. We lived together in the summer. We trained together. Gator somehow had 200 beer in his house at all times. He would be a very good guy to be locked up with for any time.
Can I change my answer? I want to go actually shop. I don't want to go to your place. Ornella, those meals that Ornella would always cook us. I'll change my answer.
You missed Cinco de Mayo's good, buddy. You put up last night.
I bet.
Yeah, it's good.
Great. Well, thanks to all 3 of you for joining us. It was fun going down memory lane there, but good luck to all of you. All the best. Stay safe to you and your families. And thanks again on behalf of the Oilers.